This lesson is on equivalent expressions. What you're going to be asked for is to simplify each expression. Okay. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say 5 times 3n. Now, officially, we know that this looks like the distributive property when I have a number on the outside of parentheses, which tells me to multiply. But what I also know is that I could use the associative property of multiplication. And remember, associative property means to associate the numbers in a different way. So technically, instead of associating the 3 and the n, I could write an equivalent expression where I associate the 5 and the 3 and then multiply it by n. Okay, and I know that 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 times n is 15n. Okay, so then let's look at an example. 4 plus 7b plus 8. Now officially, I could combine my like terms to simplify, but another way to do that is to write an equivalent expression by moving some of this stuff around. Okay, what I'm going to use is the commutative property of addition. And remember, the word commute means to actually move. So I'm going to move this 7 around and put it in the front. Okay, 7b plus 4. I'm commuting that and then leaving that plus 8. And then what I'm also going to do is apply the associative, just like I did here, the associative property of addition. By not associating the 7 and the 7b and the 4, I want the 4 and the 8. So 7b plus, I'm going to associate the 4 plus 8 so that I can simplify down. Okay? So 7b plus 4 and 8 is 12. And that is a simplified version of my original question. I cannot go further than this because they are not like terms. This one has a variable and this one does not. So that's as far as I can go there. And C. Let's look at 6xy over y. Okay. And what I can do, if I don't know how to simplify my operations or my rules of exponents, what I can do again is write in that equivalent expression. I'm going to rewrite the denominator using the identity property. Identity means times 1. So let's say 1 times y, because that's really essentially still just going to give me whatever y is. And on the top, I'm going to take and separate this 6x from this y. So 6x times y. And then I can technically separate them because if I have y over y, I essentially have 1, which cancels out. So I have 6x over 1 times y over y. And I know this is essentially just times 1, so it all cancels out. And then I'm left with 6x over 1, or anything over 1 is just itself. So 6x is my final answer. Or my simplified version of that answer. Okay? All right, now you're going to write down the got it's and attempt those on your own. Okay, so let's say 2.1 times, 4.5x let's say 6 plus 4h plus 3 and 8m over 12mn. Go ahead and pause the video to complete those. Okay, so now I could have associated this 2.1 times 4.5 and then multiplied it by x, which should have given you 9 45/100ths x. I could have commuted 6 plus 3 plus 4h and then associated 6 plus 3 plus 4h, which would have given me 9 plus 4h. And then lastly, I could have separated this 8 times m separated over 12m, n times m. So it would have reduced to 8 over 12n, which I know can be simplified further to 2 over 3n. And that is a lesson on equivalent expressions.